There's a lot going on before the game, and we were challenged in many ways. Unfortunately, Frankie in the warm up didn't feel 100% confident, and I thought it was very mature of him to pull himself out of harm's way for a longer period of time. So hopefully, it's just a couple of days here. And then we thought that Finn could come in and do a job, and I thought he did a really good job. And he had something going on with his ankle towards the end there, and hope it's not too serious. It just swelled up on him. So, we'll just have to evaluate that. And we knew DC is going to be up for the game. So credit to Renee and the team for preparing them in the best way possible. I thought through the start of the game, we were a little bit reactive instead of being proactive, and they got the upper hand and then get the goal. And then we're chasing, and instead of being on the front foot, just a lot of recoveries and on the back foot. So, then the game got stretched a little bit, and then we're trying to manufacture ways of trying to get, guys in the game, and Elo and Kevin, to try and get into favorable spaces that suits them and on the dribble. And thought for the most part in the second half, guys dig deep. And when we get the red card, yeah, just unfortunate timing. I did think we had momentum. I did think we pushed the game, even a man down. So I'm proud of the boys for that. And we won't get too low on this result. But we, for sure, we understand what teams are expecting against us, and how they're going to play against us. And that's something for us to be tuned into and dialed into from the very get-go. Thank you.
To clarify something you said about Sundstrom's ankle.
Yep.
Westfield was hamstring. Or...
Yep.
The red card. Did the officials explain to you what they thought the infraction was? Because we didn't hear anything.
There were some verbal pleasantries exchanged. I don't know. I've been in games. There's a lot of chatter and banter between everybody. I'm not sure what extent. But again, we'll do our investigation and have a look. And obviously, you can't say certain, remarks or whatever these days. And, it's a competitive environment, and we don't want to, go down that road of he said, she said, and what have you. But the referee, I'm not sure if you overheard something, and I can't, I'm not sure.
Really looking at the stats, it looked like your target forwards only had 2 touches in the penalty box tonight. What made it so difficult to get Alado and Damiani going?
Yeah, it's a good question. When we turned over the balls, I think in the first half, we didn't retain the balls as well as I would have hoped and expected, to find Indy and Milan between the lines, or even, getting our strikers on the move and stretching the back line a little bit. So, we try to hold up the balls, and we did see some better progressive play as the game went on. But unfortunately, we couldn't, get into those free spaces down the channels. And then you work the space. So once you stretch them one way, then the space gets open underneath a little bit. So we didn't really have those moments for us. And again, listen, we've had a long, no excuses. We've had a long preseason. We had a long trip and everything. No excuses. Guys are a bit leggy and what have you. But I mean, we have to find ways. And in the game, when we work so hard to win the ball and then give it back away straight away. So these are some of the things that, a little bit of rust still coming through the preseason, and the leg's still a bit heavy. So, but yeah, nothing more than that.
One other thing I wanted to ask about the red card, everything that happened, Olekin goes in and gets Alado out of there very clearly, gets in there to make sure he doesn't get in trouble. We talked a little bit over the course of the preseason about Olekin stepping up now in more of a leadership stuff role. I don't know if you saw that happen, but what would you say about him and his willingness to make sure that
he's leading by doing, he's leading by talking, and just his professionalism through preseason. I mean, he's danger in the box on set pieces. His tackling ability, his ball progression ability, he's developing in a really, really good way. And then when you can get that final piece of being a leader within a group, he becomes so valuable for us. So, and you could see where we put him today. We had him down on the right and then put him on the left, and just trying to mix and match pieces here, how we could try and tilt the game and get a little bit of Anelo free through with Makanya dribbling. And part of it did work to a certain extent in the second half. The red card just threw the plan a little bit, out the window. But you can see a lot of growth from him over now the last 2 months, in him assuming this role as a leader in that group.
Yeah. I know the league, you mentioned certain things you can't say in game these days. I know the league has an education policy about that, but with the new players
Sure.
coming in.
Yeah, everyone's done the due diligence, the trainings, whether it's been staff, players, everyone's gone through that protocol and that standard protocol. But it's easy, when you're in a classroom and on your Zoom and you go through it and you have a cold drink in your hand and, it's all good. But when it's the emotions and there's fans and everything, under those pressure tests, I would call them, we just have to usher and nurture our guys within that environment, and hopefully they get to a point where they can regulate, and then move on from from one moment to another place. So we have a young group, and I don't want to say I'm not sure of what the exchanges were, but obviously for a red card to be warranted, it's unacceptable, and that's first and foremost, and we have to learn from that.
Jimmy? You talk about even when the team goes down to 10 men, you still come and force the issue a little bit, still fishing for that equalizer.
Yeah.
And that you're not going to get too low on this loss. I wonder with the lack of actual practice days due to being in multiple competitions, how do you as a coach and your coaching staff navigate getting that message across to the team with so many new faces in the team?
Yeah, sometimes the reps, we could do tactical reps through regeneration type trainings, without the intensity we go at. So there's the training on the actual practical side, and then there's the video coaching side, so in the video room and getting through guys and match post-game debriefs and what have you, and then pre-games. And so, tactics isn't done on the practical side. We have to then go to the video room as well when the schedule's so condensed. And then, we have a good team around us with, head of performance, Ryan Cotter, and making sure that the guys are periodized in the right way, and ready to go on Thursday. So, but we'll try and find a good balance of, pause, regeneration, and then finding a guys to, the first few games are always tricky in the MLS. The breaks are so long, and then we, take a lot of new players getting back. There's all the guys who've been traveling with visas and what have you. And then we've had a couple of roadblocks with a couple of muscle day-to-day problems and what have you. So again, we by far nowhere near where we need to be. And I'm excited about the journey ahead because, there's a lot of challenges we put on ourselves as a team. And then with obviously tonight's result, we get a good result in Trinidad, and then now a result tonight doesn't go our way. But I'm happy the way that we ended the game and made a push of the game and really took it, like it meant something, to be down and driving performance and driving moments and, not hanging our heads. And that's what I like to have seen in my group. And I did see that in the second half.
Kyle, Todd, and then one there.
Hey, Bradley, real quick, just for preseason just the partnership with Siri now getting comes in tonight. What has impressed you most about specifically Siri and partnership?
Yeah, obviously we've played different combinations. We've tried different relationships. And then we start filing down and zoning in on what we're trying to do. And, we've played Makanya on the right. We've played him on the left side of center back. So, I think there's a flexibility and a versatility of what we're trying to do. And then there's the individual characteristics of the players themselves. And you can see Jeff is very aggressive to forward defend. He's very strong in a tackle, and he's very brave, and he's very good with the ball with line breaking passes as well. So, and again, I still don't think we are where we want to be. And I think that's just a matter of days, a matter of time, and hope to, catch up with the momentum of, the schedule. And hopefully we'll have enough gas in the tank to ride those challenges.
Bradley, you guys brought Carnell off the bench again tonight, and it seemed like he was pretty energetic, winning back the ball back for you guys, driving the ball forward. Just what have you seen from Kevin these last couple of days? Obviously, giving the assist down in Trinidad, and then having what seemed to be a solid performance off the bench tonight.
Yeah, really good. And, that's why we call him so early off the bench, because we know that with performances like that, he can really help the team when we're making a push, and finding the balance between, Kevin, the talent, and Kevin, the teammate, and he has to find that balance on the field. And I think he's finding more moments of balance, not just trying to have the ultimate wow moment in every moment. Sometimes it's a simple pass and a move, and sometimes it's a dribble, and then sometimes it's a reset. And he's finding more moments to have those experiences. And I think that's been very vital for him, whether it's been through preseason games or whether it's been now in Trinidad. And then he has the ability to come back in the game and counter press and show a bit of energy there. So a man down was a tough ask, and the way we pushed the game tactically by being still able to put pressure on the ball as well, it takes a lot. So, I'm happy with everyone's performance, but Kevin did well too.
Bradley.
Hi.
So there were too many debuts to cover all of them, but one player that I think was particularly interesting is Jeff Sari. So obviously with the short turnaround when he joined to start of the season, how would you say he's kind of acclimated to the team's tactics, both as a defender and a playmaker?
Yeah, he's not a new kid on the block, right? I mean, he's had great experiences overseas, played Europa Leagues and stuff like that, vice captain for their team and what have you. So when we bring in him, we know who we, lost, let go. And then we had to know who we're bringing in to fill a void, right? So, and I think that void was filled. And I think you could see, what was on display tonight, how we're able to play, how he's able to forward defend, how he's able to take time and space away. I thought he did a very, very solid job for his first first performance with us, basically in the league. Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Hey.